You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. What is going on? Let me know if you can see me, hear me, all the good stuff. Happy Monday. Happy Black History Month. What else? Oh, President's Day. Yes. Happy Monday. Yay. Look, yay. I feel like Wendy Osefo in that first scene where she was just very low energy. My energy will come up in just a second. Maybe I should take a look at this picture and it'll make me feel better. What in the... What in the OMG? James Earl Jones, may he rest in peace. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. No, we really mean that. Definitely when we're talking about Black History Month, James Earl Jones is an icon. So may he, God rest his soul. May he rest in peace. Damn, Wendy, you came fully prepared. Who was the MVP of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, y'all? Who surprised you the most? Who fell flat for you? Let us know. If you're part of the replay crew, we want to hear your thoughts as well. We haven't forgotten about our replay crew. We love our replay crew. We understand since the pandemic, a lot of people are back in the office. Some of you got new jobs. You've got promotions. Congratulations to you. Let us know, replay crew. We appreciate you. And let us also know where you are watching from, okay? OMG. If you guys had to rate... If you had to rate this week's episode of Potomac from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? Okay. All right. Oh, wait a second. Mr. Melanin Magic has a new photo. What photo is this? I can't even tell who that is. Who is that, Mr. Melanin Magic, in your photo? Who is that? Is that James Earl? Like, no, really. I'm like, who is that? Right? I didn't, when they first brought up James Earl Jones, I was like, okay, that was random. Then I started seeing pictures, and I was like, they do kind of favor each other. Off of me says, Tia fell flat. Tia. I think Tia's still a good addition to Potomac. I don't think she was a bad addition. I think towards the end of the season, she definitely was falling flat. At the reunion, I felt like she fell flat. And this has nothing to do with people that stand for Stacey, because you know over here, we stand for no one but Jesus. And ourselves. But, yeah, I do feel like she fell flat. Yeah, right? And I thought, here's the thing, my frustration with you, Tia, and then we'll get into how everything went during this reunion. You had this entire time, you had months to prepare for this reunion, and you still fell flat. And I'm not saying that you can't have your issues with Stacey, but your issues with Stacey feel so forced and unnecessary. And it goes back to the question that I think it was Zoe from Brooklyn. Hey, Zoe from Brooklyn. Had in regards to Kiarna, Giselle, and who else? Ashley. You guys seem like you just were incessant on having an issue with Stacey, and the issues that you had with Stacey were not even your own issues. But we will get there. Stacey, you're going to get it too, girl. Just for a hot second, though, Stacey. You can take it. You dealt with what you've dealt with this crew. You could take whatever we're going to say. Apparently not, though, because you unfollowed me after I exposed the fact that what happened at the reunion. I just told you what happened at the reunion. I didn't do anything else, Stacey. But that's okay. It just showed me who you really are. And if you are watching the YouTube version, shout out to the podcast, but sometimes you gotta be watching the YouTube version. Shout out to the production for keeping that moment in when she turns away from Ashley and it just pans. She swore she was, she swore. Honestly, for a second there, I thought I froze because I realized the panning was very slow. I was like, oh, what? It was almost sinister. It was almost... Did anyone kind of go like, oh, wait a minute. What's happening here? What is happening? Right? All right. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Shout out to those of you that have become members of the channel. Demi, thank you so much for the first super chat of the day. We appreciate your constant support and for being a member. Demi says, we have to dissect the married up comment. Well, Demi, one thing you know about here, and one thing you're never going to do to a tourist is tell what we're going to dissect. But that was in my list of things to talk about. But we have a lot of things to talk about. So we can't dissect everything, okay? Because if we did, we'll be here for 4 hours, and we have a live at 3 p.m. Eastern for Married to Medicine, okay? And the married up situation comes from Tia. That was a comment that she had about Stacey. Oh, because you think that you married up, that you have to be prim and proper. Well, maybe that's far more telling about you than it is about Stacey, Tia. Did you feel like you married down because you married a black man? I don't understand what that meant. You feel like you've married up, so you feel like you have to be prim and proper. That's far more telling about your perspective than it is about Stacey. And that whole comment about traveling, oh, you think because you travel, that makes you like you've accomplished something. Hell yeah. Shout out to all of us that are travel baddies. Come on. One time for the travel baddies. Yes, because some of us grew up not being able to travel like that. And now that she's able to travel and be around the world and know another language, yes, I always tell you guys the best thing you could ever do for yourself and the best education you could ever get for yourself is travel. So don't let Tia shame you, okay? Kai says that comment was so stupid. It was. Oh, Lord. All right. Let me start from the beginning, guys. Again, happy Black History Month. Shout out to those of you that are here with us. Shout out to our King's Guards. Be sure to show them some love. You know, we always have a crowd in the chat. We already have 1,000 people watching. Hey, y'all. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and in everything. Kempire on Facebook and Kempire Daily on Facebook. So make sure you're following us there. We're streaming there live. We're also streaming on Twitch. Shout out to our Twitch followers. Head on over to twitch.tv/TheKempire. All right, let's start from the beginning. So I will give production and the editor some credit. I like how they started off this reunion. I didn't expect them to start off this way because normally they would start off at the reunion, but no, they're starting off where they ended in the one-on-one with Karen, and that is Wendy got arrested 3 months after cameras went down. So they flash back. They're telling a story, all right? They flash back to 2020, and they flash back to all these moments of Dr. Wendy Osefo. And they're like, okay, so look how the mighty have fallen from coming from what she presented in 2020 to where she is today, getting arrested for insurance fraud. You couldn't tell, though. I have to give Wendy credit because I don't know if I could do it. If I was arrested for what she was arrested for with all this commentary, with all the spotlights that are on her, I don't know if I could have shown up to this reunion, be as poised, to look so damn good, to answer every question, even give us a little bit more. And look, for those that are expecting accountability, we're not going to expect accountability at this particular point because she has not even gone to trial yet. She's already said that she's fighting these charges. I did see the paparazzi rolled up on Giselle over the weekend. She looked good, though. I'm going to give her credit. You got to give credit when credit's due. Some of y'all always swear that I'm always hating on everybody, but when credit is due, we give credit over here. Okay? Look, as I make the Forrest Whitaker face. Poor Forrest Whitaker catching stray. Sorry, Forrest. It's not my fault. It's Angel Massey's fault. Okay? So I saw that Giselle basically said that she thinks that Wendy should take a plea deal. One of the things that I noticed throughout this reunion, what I've already noticed, what I've told you countless times, this friendship between Wendy and Giselle is produced. It's for television. It's so that they can get along on television because they don't want the toxicity of the last few seasons. You saw at the top of the reunion when Andy tells Giselle, you're going to be sitting next to Wendy. Wait, y'all want me to hold her hand? You think she would have said that to like a Robin? To a regular Robin? No, she'd be like, yeah, of course I'm going to be sitting next to my bestie Westie. What do you guys want me to do? Hold her hand? She's clearly an instrument of the network. And for those that keep saying that she's the face of Real Housewives of Potomac, she clearly is. She's clearly one of the favorites. Fine. I did see that she was asked questions by the paparazzi about Wendy's situation, and she says that she thinks that Wendy should take a plea deal. Well, you only take a plea deal if you want to avoid the trial and not get serious charges, or if you're guilty. But okay. I think the best thing that she could say in this particular moment, but we already know when it comes to Giselle, she's never going to take the high road. She's always going to take the Giselle road. And you can define that what you want to define that as the low road. I'm going to define it as the Giselle road. And I feel like she could have been like, you know what? We're rooting for Wendy. We hope that she gets out of this situation. She's like, I think she should take a plea deal. Okay. Fine. All right, fine. And I know some of you are like, well, I agree with her. Yes, but you guys are not friends with her. That's not your colleague situation. But okay, fine. So, all right. I also saw that Kiarna is reacting to the reunion. Not Kiarna chin checks you again, Angel, in front of all of our faces. I know she's from Baltimore, but aren't you too? Look, where is she from? I know she's from the DMV, but is she from, well, okay, let's not get into that. DMV folks, calm down. We're not going to get into what's the DMV. I know Baltimore is not considered a part of the DMV. Calm down. But she's from that area, right? All right, fine. All right, we're not going to get into it. All right, off of me. It's hot today. So I don't feel sorry for Wendy at all. He says, she wanted to look like an IG baddie, and she chose to defraud her insurance company to fund it. Damn. Go to jail and think about what you did then, Wen. Well, let me clutch my imaginary pearls. Well, I do feel like a lot of people feel that way. But I will say this. I feel like Wendy handled herself in part one of this reunion stellar. I have to give it to her. She answered the questions. They start off this entire episode flashbacking to all of Wendy's history. They get to the part where she's arrested. So it's like a huge fall from grace. Then we have this scene between Wendy and Eddie at home, which we saw in the mid-season trailer. So many people are like, where are we not going to see that scene? Well, we get to see it in part one of the reunion. And I told you, if you watch the after show, then you saw that Wendy had a very similar look that we're seeing in this scene with Eddie. So I knew that the after show had to be filmed after she was arrested. You could also tell in the after show her energy was very much like what we see in this scene with Eddie, very low energy. And like, can you blame her? You were just arrested. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Xanax of it all, because that's stressful. So at the very top of this, we get to see this conversation with Wendy and Eddie, and they talk about their arrest, and she just says her home feels different. I can imagine. Can you imagine the police coming into your home, probably putting you in handcuffs, searching your home? Because remember, they said when they went to the home, 15 of the items that they claimed were stolen were in the home. I have to remind you, 15 of the items were still in the home. So I'm assuming when they came in, they handcuffed Eddie and Wendy. The kids weren't home, we found out. They handcuff Eddie and Wendy. They go searching through the home. They discovered the items. And then they haul them off to jail. I can't imagine it. I would never want that. I would never want that for myself. I would never want that for anyone else. Okay? However, Ashley, that is not my number one fear. I don't know about anyone else. Yes, none of us want to be arrested, okay? Especially if we didn't do anything wrong. However, it's not the top of my, look, it's not the top. It's not the top of my concern. Like, that's not my number one fear because I'm not doing anything illegal. But I don't know. Maybe she had a run-in with the law. I don't know. Okay? But fine. Okay. Fine. We will get back there. So we have the scene with Eddie and Wendy at home. And Wendy's energy is very low. Eddie's energy seems a little bit, more even-keeled in this particular moment. All right? Wendy says that she doesn't have an appetite. She knows that she should eat, but she has no desire to eat. Hence why so many people, even Taria Faison, who will be opening up for us during the Kempire After Dark, a live show here in New York City. Have you guys gotten your tickets yet? It's less than a month away. New York, are you ready to get down with me? If you're in the tri-state area, go get your tickets today. Go get your tickets. There's also a live stream option available for you guys as well. So go get your tickets for that if you can't make it to New York City. But less than a month. Soon, by this week, it'll be 3 weeks away. Go get your tickets, New York. This is the only show I have planned for 2026. Already, you see how much work I put into developing the show, promoting the show, booking the show. I'm not doing that for the rest of the year. All right, so this is your only chance to see me live in person. So go get your tickets today if you haven't already. All right, back to this. So Taria revealed to us when she saw Wendy in court. Okay, elephant brain. All right, I got my elephant shirt on. Shout out to Banana Republic. Where's our partnership, sponsorship deal? Let's create that together, y'all. She said that when she saw Wendy in person, she looked really thin. So Wendy, I'm like you, girl. If I'm stressed, I can't eat. And some people, it's the opposite. Some people overeat when they're stressed. I'm the opposite. I can't even hold food down if I'm stressed about something. Okay? And that should tell you a lot of me being a Taurus. If you don't see me eating, I'm stressed. Okay? All right. So Wendy talks to Eddie about it, and Eddie gets emotional thinking about seeing Wendy talk with her sister and talk with Cameron, their youngest daughter. And he said he starts to cry, and she's like trying not to, have him cry. But he said he got emotional because she's trying to talk to Cameron, and she's like, "You're gonna spend the night with Auntie." One thing I have to say, I respect a lot how Wendy is trying to change how she raises her kids than how she was raised in regards to giving them a voice. I love that, especially culturally, Black, Caribbean, African, where we grew up to be seen and not heard. And not in a rude way, because I don't see Wendy's kids as being rude at all, Tia. Ooh. It's different. I don't see them being disrespectful to Wendy and Eddie. You see how you can do that? You can raise your kids to have a voice, but they not be disrespectful to you. So I love that. I love that she's trying to do a little bit differently with her kids, especially with the Susan of it all. All right. So Eddie gets emotional thinking about Wendy speaking to her sister and talking to their daughter and explaining to Cameron that they won't be home tonight, but she'll see them tomorrow. And Wendy said later on she had no idea. She had no idea if she was going to see her daughter the next day. And they spent the night in jail, but we knew that already. All right? Okay. So Wendy, I thought this was an interesting question. Anyone else? Wendy asked Eddie, "Do you think this will affect our marriage?" I still find that to be an interesting question, even though we saw that in the mid-season trailer. I found that to be an interesting question because I was like, oh, what are you thinking? Are you holding resentment against Eddie because maybe he was the one behind orchestrating this idea? I also have to remind you, when we think about how Wendy and Eddie got together, remember, Wendy told us originally she wasn't even interested in Eddie. He didn't have a car. She only got interested in him was when they were in college and he had gotten a car. I guess he had some sort of glow up and things like that. I definitely believe that they love each other now. But I do think that Wendy, especially growing up the way that she grew up with parents culturally, like she wants her man to have a certain thing. They got to be a certain power couple and a certain, in regards to you need to have education, you need to have a certain money, you have to give me a certain lifestyle kind of thing. So she asked her, "Do you think this will affect our marriage?" She says she is not the same person since this incident. Sound familiar? Karen said the same thing about her situation. And she sort of alluded that maybe her and Ray might not be together. And I said, but I have to say, they're showing a united front since this scene. Because a lot of people speculated, especially when the news came out that they were going to have, we didn't know what attorneys Eddie was going to have at the time, but now they have pretty much the same law firm. So a lot of people speculated that something might be awry in this relationship. Eddie says God's got us. All right. All right. I mean, based on what we've seen so far, they are riding with each other. Maybe they did have a rough patch. Maybe that is something they'll talk about next season. I definitely think Wendy will be coming back next season. I think they're going to drag this out as long as they can so that she can start filming come the spring. So, because remember, the trial is not even supposed to begin until they have another hearing in March, and then the trial is supposed to start in April. If it starts in April, we don't know. That could get pushed back as well. All right. Guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the reunion, part 1 of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on part 1 and how you would rate part 1 from 1 to 10. All right. I thought it was a good part 1. There were some people that were very quiet, like Kiarna. Sidebar. Let me pull this up. I can't show it to you just because I didn't do this in time, but I'm going to pull it up in regards to what Kiarna had to say. So Kiarna, you should have been on the press tour. Did you see? You're doing it all wrong, Kiarna. She doesn't. You don't know what you're doing when it comes to being a housewife. You should have did what Ashley did. She went on a press tour after the reunion. You should have went on a press tour after the reunion. We were like, where is Kiarna? Hence why you saw Kiarna in that moment when she chin-checked Angel in front of us again. Damn. She's just like, she wanted to have her moment. So this is what she said recently on her IG story in regards to what happened during the reunion. I just don't want to forget anything. I know I'm jumping around a little bit. I just don't want to forget some of the things that I've seen come up. Shout out to our friends over at No Chaser TV on IG. I'm going to play this clip from their page. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me just play this for you.
Oh my God, y'all. You know what? I really try not to comment on the things that people have to say about the reunions, about this and that. But y'all have to stop it when it comes to people in their relationships. You do not know what kind.
Sidebar, it looks like she's in the Caribbean. I don't know. Maybe she could be in one of the Europe cities. I don't know. But I'm like, oh, I think I see a palm tree. Not sure.
Friendships I have with my friends. You do not know our thoughts. You do not know the conversations that we have.
Let me say something nice. Beautiful face, beautiful gowns. I love this hair color on her. Kiarna's just a beautiful woman.
Like, stop it. You guys are so used to this, like, fake personas and yes people. I don't get down with my friends like that, and I never will. So, not this whole thing that, you know, I want to control my friends and all of that. Y'all, please. Everyone on this show is some grown-ass women. There's no need for me to do any of that. Like, just stop that narrative.
She says, stop that narrative. Hey, Angel, that should have been you on your Instagram story defending yourself, not Kiarna. Kiarna, you should have just kept quiet. The person that should have come to the internet should have been Angel. Like, Kiarna doesn't control me, blah, blah, blah. It was weird. That was a weird moment, but let me go back in order. All right? So, the reunion starts, okay? Or they start gathering, okay? Ashley arrives. She sees that Karen's going to be there. She's like, oh, Karen's here? All right. So Giselle tells Ashley that she's looking forward to Wendy and her State of the Union. Do you see why I keep telling you these little nuggets that you need to pay attention to? Giselle is not her friend. Giselle is barely Ashley's friend, let's be honest. She's more of a friend to regular Robin, but even that, you saw when confronted by Quad, she threw regular Robin under the bus. So she says she's looking forward to Wendy and her State of the Union. All right. Do we still have one of those? I haven't watched the last one, and I won't be watching the next one. But anyway, focus. All right, so the reunion begins. Everyone starts gathering. Andy says he shows Giselle where she's going to be sitting. Giselle says, am I supposed to hold her hand? In regards to Wendy, because Wendy's going to be sitting next to Andy during the reunion. All right. So Wendy's the last person to arrive. She kisses Eddie. She looks great. How did you guys feel about the reunion looks? Now that you've seen the reunion looks in order and in real life, how did you guys feel about the reunion looks? Let me see. Let me get the reunion I have to say, I haven't really changed how I feel about the reunion looks. Although I like the fact that Kiarna pulled her hair up, I don't like how it's pulled up, to be honest with you. And I feel like that is exactly what Tia should have did with her hair. Pull her hair up, pull it. Tia looks a little unkempt. You know what I mean? While everyone looks a little bit more together, she looks a little, yeah. Giselle's hair looked a lot better in real life than it did in the picture. That's one thing I will say. I still don't like the dress. Still don't like what she did to the dress. Because remember, she did this to the Victoria Beckham dress. She made the changes to this dress. You could tell. Wendy is still best dressed for me. She looks amazing. I love the dress. Even sitting down, it looks great. Ashley still looks a mess. Okay. I like the texture of Kiarna's dress. I still do not really love the bust. And she had the same problem last season when it came to her bust area. But yeah, I like the way that Angel looks. I know Kenya said she didn't like it because she felt like she was giving like Madam. But no, I actually like it. And I think the hair being out, it was giving very sexy. I like it. I think Stacey looks great. I think Stacey should have did a bob. I get it. This is Stacey's look. This is her signature. But I really wish she would have. It's a beautiful dress. It's definitely a beautiful dress. Apparently, the dress is made by the same designer that Ashley used last season. Ashley just has to take a dig anytime that she can take a dig. It's the same designer. Fine, girl. You know how many people on this cast probably have used the same designer before? We've gone through the designers before. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that designer being used before. It's not the same dress, though. Beautiful dress, though. Shout out to Chanel. All right? But I think she should have done maybe like a little bit of a bob. I don't know. But that's me. That's my personal thing. Rachel says that Angel's dress is terrible. I don't know if it's terrible. That might be a little dramatic. Okay? Wait, who said that? Hold on. Mary Jane's Baby is right. That's what it's definitely giving. Okay, we went from James Earl Jones, okay, to this. Wait, where is, Angel is giving Della Reese and Harlem Nights, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad about that, to be honest. But okay. That's me. Look, that's me. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode, part 1 of the Real Housewives of Potomac season 10 reunion. All right, so I did find it interesting when Wendy arrives and Wendy sits down. She sits next to Giselle, and she looks at Giselle. She's like, "Oh, you look good." Okay, you've always wanted to be one of Giselle's favorites, huh? Okay. What, Dr. Miss Honey? What is going on? Why did you think I never said that? I thought Kempire said Ashley has to take a D anytime Ashley can take a D. What? Where did you get that? OMG. I did not say that. Did I? Look, did I say this is Kempire After Dark? No, that's March 13th here in New York City. Tickets now on sale. Go check out the description. What? Who said that? Where's your head? How was your Valentine's Day? If you guys missed it, we did do a special live on Friday, over 4 hours. Be sure to check it out. You can watch it here on YouTube, but you can also listen to it in 2 parts on the Kempire podcast. So be sure to check that out. Well, Coco says, I mean, it's not a lie. Well, you know what? Goodbye. Goodbye. Kendra, you said, that's what I thought you said, Kev. Really? That's not what I said. All right. Moving on. Let's get to this. So they reflect on the beginning because this is 10 years of the Real Housewives of Potomac. So they reflect on the beginning with Giselle and Ashley because there are 2 OGs that are still there. I did notice. Did you guys notice that Andy did not refer to the mom group as Jack and Jill? You know, because that's a name. I don't know if it's trademarked, and he didn't want to mention that it was Jack and Jill, that the mom group that they were a part of. And Giselle had to make it clear that Charisse was not a part of that. We found that out during Charisse's recent press tour on her son's hookup, that she wasn't a part of Jack and Jill. Her kids weren't a part of that. All right. So Giselle said that she loves to argue with Karen. Karen was definitely missed this season, but I've been telling you that. that the cast definitely missed Karen this season. They felt lost without Karen this season. They felt like the season was a bore. I told you that you don't be surprised if you see Ashley and Giselle working overtime to produce moments, which I was right. Okay. You know, one of the things that was disappointing during this reunion, especially as OGs, they saw the backlash that they received. And I'm not saying that they need to pander to the fans, but you saw that all of your work and effort to take down Stacey or to come after Angel did not land with the audience. I thought on some level, you know, you talk about Karen showing accountability. I thought on some level that Giselle and Ashley would come, not to say that they would own it completely, but show some sort of accountability during this reunion and sort of backtrack on some of the things that they said. And they didn't. They didn't. The only person I saw backtrack a little bit was Kiarna. But okay. All right. So they talk about that. Wendy says she talks about the Wendy of 2020 versus the Wendy of 2026. And she admits that the Wendy in her first season was very unsure of herself. We all got that. And a lot of people really Chris says Jack and Jill got that in writing when the show started airing. Oh, all right. All right, Buckstar says Jack and Jill wanted nothing to do with the show. I don't blame them. Bossy says, I wouldn't backtrack if I said what I said. I need to stand by what I said. Well, and my thing is not even backtracking. It's also or not backtracking, but apologizing, showing ownership. He was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe the way I did that was wrong. But we didn't get any of that. Zamunda, hey Gary, says, I kind of love that they don't pander to the fandom. They've been the downfall of Candace and Wendy. That's been the downfall of Candace and Wendy. I don't think that's been the downfall of Candace and Wendy, to be honest with you, at all. If we're really looking at the likability scales of the people on this cast, Candace in her last couple of seasons became more likable, even with people like myself, because some of y'all forget I was never a Candace fan. Okay? Some of y'all forget. Some of y'all also forget I wasn't a Wendy fan. But they became more likable as the seasons went on. And I used to I don't know if I ever really liked Ashley, but I used to like Giselle. They became more unlikable. So I don't need them to pander to the fans. What I need them to do is to do some self-reflection. That's the problem. You don't need to pander to me. I don't care if you pander to me or not. You need to have some self-reflection. You need to show some growth. You need to show something of yourself as opposed to always relying on other people's storyline to be your own. But okay. All right, moving on. Let's move on. So they immediately, which I did not expect, but I guess, it's the big elephant in the room, so you got to talk about it, right? Speaking of elephants, yes. Okay. They start off with Wendy's arrest. So I will say this, based off of Wendy, we got a lot of what went down when she was arrested. I mean, I had a few more questions, but they're not done. Andy does say at the end of it, his questioning, that they're going to come back to it. So apparently Wendy says that the investigation is still ongoing. As you know, it's very early on in the case. Wendy says that the kids weren't home when she was arrested, because that was another question. Like, were the kids home at the time when this happened? So I'm assuming the kids were probably at school when this happened. Wendy says when the police arrived, she was taking a nap. And Eddie's the one who says, the police are here. He woke her up. The police are here. They ask about the kids and what did the kids know. The other kids didn't know, but Carter, their oldest, did discover on his own about their arrest and didn't say anything to her mom or her sister. And when she saw him the next day, he asked, where were you? This part of their conversation kind of broke my heart. I really felt for Wendy. I really felt for her kids in this moment. And this is what stood out to me, that they're trying to raise their kids differently than how they were raised. And she says, I told my kids that, as parents, we told them that we would never lie to them. So she checked on, she could tell there was a difference in him. And he was just like, where were you? So he started to get emotional. She was emotional. She held him. This all played out in their car. Okay. She says what they do now is, like, anytime that they're going to court, they let Carter know. Because she doesn't want him finding out anything on the internet. Because remember, he's a kid of a particular age. You know what I mean? So he's going to see things, all right, on social media. All right. So Wendy updates Carter on when they're going to court. Giselle cannot help herself, but I can appreciate this because she's able to make a light of the situation. She's like, she asked about Wendy's wig. She was like, "Is that why your wig was so shifted?" Because she was taking a nap. And Wendy says, because Tia jokes and says, it was her nap wig. And she was like, "No, actually, it wasn't my nap wig. It was my professor wig." Ah. I was like, "Oh, okay, let's make light and fun of this moment. I can appreciate it because this is very awkward." All right. She says that Wendy explains the grin in the photo because Andy, of course, asked, "Why were you grinning in the photo?" Let me remind you, because, and I know this is not to be mean. This is just the situation. When we talk about this arrest, we got to go back to where all of this started. Where's my photo? I know it's here. Not the James Earl Jones of it all. Oh, here it is. Let me bring it up because we're going to be talking about this a lot this reunion. So Andy asks about the grin in the photo, and of course, why Eddie looks so high. Apparently, Eddie he was in his cell, he was taking a nap, and they woke him up to go take his mugshot, and that's why he looked the way that he looked. So she denies that they were high at the time. Okay, I mean that's the downside of owning a cannabis business. I'm assuming everyone's going to think you high off your own supply. I mean, they do partake. We already know that. So Wendy explains that the grin was because the police officer thought that she was on America's Next Top Model. No, I'm adding that part. I think she was on America's Next Top Model. Sidebar. For those Netflix is not paying me, but if y'all want to run an ad, that reality check with America's Next Top Model, it came out today. I'm going to recap it. Not today, obviously, because we have 2 recaps today. Not happening today. And plus, I need to watch it first. We will recap it probably, maybe let's say, I can't even say Wednesday, maybe tomorrow? Maybe. We'll see. I got to see. But we'll definitely, at some point this week. The latest, probably Thursday. All right? Houston Foodie says that Eddie had been crying. I mean, if someone just woke you up and you all of a sudden you have to go take a picture. Wendy says that the police officer was trying to make her feel better. He's like, "Take a better picture. Do this, do that." Look, maybe he was. I don't know. All right. Yes, a mugshot photo shoot. So he was the one encouraging her to smile in the photo. I thought you're not supposed to smile in a mugshot. I don't know. I just heard. Okay. Oh, wait. Is that just a passport photo? I guess you could do whatever you want in a mugshot, huh? You got arrested, so you do what you want. You badass. I guess it's the passport photo you're not so smiling. See, that's the only thing I know. Okay. And your license. Thank you, Coco. Yeah, your license. Yep. Your license. No smiling. But guess the mugshot, you do whatever you want. You can throw up gang signs or something. Lord. All right. Moving on from there. So I thought it was interesting that Stacey asked the question, like, "So you guys spent the night in jail?" Mind you, Stacey actually went to see Wendy, had seen Wendy after she was arrested. So I'm guessing she just went there as support and she never asked any questions, which I can appreciate. I'm not going to ask you any questions. You tell me what you want to tell me. But in that moment, Stacey's like, "Oh my God, you spent the night in jail?" So Wendy says, "Yeah." She's like, "You lose all your autonomy in jail. They turn on the lights, that's when you get up. They turn out the lights, that's when you go to sleep." I can't imagine. I don't want to imagine. So Giselle, in this moment, because of how poised Wendy is in answering these questions, she's like, "Are you okay?" Because the way that you're responding to this, it just seems like nothing's the matter. And Wendy says that she isn't okay, but she will be okay. Wendy's a strong person. She's a strong woman, strong person. Because I'm like, damn. The way that I didn't know what to expect in this moment. But the way that she was able to, Andrea says, "I smiled on my license." Maybe the person liked you, Andrea. Maybe the person liked you. Oh, wait, Miss Brooklyn Diamonds. I think that used to be a thing, but not anymore. mean, I felt okay. Maybe in recent years, because I felt like no. When I had to update my passport recently, they said the rules said no smiling, but maybe the license you can. Okay, maybe when I go update my stuff, I'm gonna go smile. I have a good smile. I'm gonna smile. And if the lady tells me, or the man, whoever, it tells me you can't smile, I'm like, oh, all right, fine. All right. Coca says I'm in Jersey though. I guess every state's different. Look. All right. All right. Lakita says I smiled on mine too. I'm gonna need. Well, why, Lakita, you ain't smiling in this photo? Why you not smiling in this photo, Lakita? All right. So Wendy says she's not okay. She's like, I'm not okay, but I will be. It's almost giving Stacey. I'm a little scared. All right. Ashley says in this moment, my number one fear is going to jail. And I have to say, did y'all notice Wendy's face? I think it was all of our face. Like, of all the fears to have in this world, that's your number one fear? I feel like if you are an upstanding citizen and you really do things by the book, not to say that it's impossible, especially in this world that we're living in now, I think now might be our number one fear, but before... And she said, you know, with seeing Karen go to jail and Wendy go to jail, like, what are you doing, Ashley? She said that's her, she's like, that's my number one fear, going to jail. Oh, all right. All right, fine. All right, moving on from there. And so then we have Stacey Rusch's package. So they go over all the highlights from Stacey from the season. So, of course, they talk about Stacey being featured in Vanity Fair as one of the top performances of 2026. Here's the thing. I think they're mixing up performances. I don't think Vanity Fair was literally talking about Stacey being fake or being performative. I think when it comes to her being a new housewife, that's the performance they're talking about. They're talking like she's really come in and she's been a star. Okay? I will say this, and I'm not saying that to take away this from Stacey. A lot of these lists that you guys see and you get into such arguments about, these are all PR spins. The whole Epstein of it all. If you look at some of the conversations between his person and his publicist at the time, this happens all the time. A lot of these awards, a lot of these features in magazines, and oh, you're the person of the year or the most good looking of the year. A lot of this is plotted and planned because you have a new project come up. And I know you're probably thinking Kempire, but it's Stacey Rusch. How is that going to happen? It's not Stacey doing it. That is Bravo. Bravo sees her as the new face of, I want to say of Potomac, or the new emerging star of Potomac. So a lot of these publicists are like, how can we get Stacey on this list? I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just giving you a scenario where it could happen. Okay? Very much like, remember when Nene, because Nene knew better than all of us, because Nene know how it works behind the scenes. Remember when Portia had the Portia spirit and she took that lady's husband? Did you guys see the promo for Real Housewives of Atlanta? The promo was really good. Hopefully the season will be good. So it seems as if Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming soon, okay? And Nene said back then when we saw all of the media outlets covering Portia's relationship with Simon Guobadia, Nene pointed out, she was like, you see how all of these press outlets are reporting on this and how it's being pushed the way that it's pushed? She's like, that is all by design. And I said, back then, I was like, oh, Nene's telling us, she's basically telling on the network in that moment. Okay? So it wouldn't shock me, and this is not to take away from you, Stacey, because I do think that you're a star. I do think that you're an MVP. But it's not surprising to me that she was included in this Vanity Fair, one of the top performances. So in this moment, it's good press for Real Housewives of Potomac. It's good press for the network. It wouldn't shock me that a publicist was on the phone. How can we get Stacey Rusch on this list? Oh, you owe me something. Let's put Stacey as a part of this list. That is NBC Universal. That is Bravo publicity. I'm just breaking the fourth wall. Okay? All right. Some of you think that I should be on certain things and in certain things. Well, once I get the right publicist, y'all gonna be like, oh, how can Kempire get to here? That good publicity. There are certain content creators. I'm not talking about anyone specifically. I'm talking about even the influencers that have publicists. They're getting opportunities because of their publicists. They're getting indoors. It's all about who you know in this business. Just saying. All right. I digressed. Back to Stacey's package. So Kiarna is asked about, how did you feel about Stacey's QVC videos? Because those have gone viral. Andy has said multiple times that he loves those videos. And yes, shout out to those videos, okay? So Kiarna's response, she's like, I think they're very entertaining. Kiarna has done a 180 when it comes to Stacey because she knows how much people love Stacey this season and feel like her attack of Stacey was very forced and unnecessary. Okay? So Kiarna is just like, I haven't watched them, but yeah, I think they're very, very entertaining. I'm like, okay, girl. So Giselle says that she's very happy about Stacey's feature in Vanity Fair. And, with everything that's been happening, and she taps Wendy on, people getting arrested. Sorry, Wendy. And Wendy says to her, mind your business. All right. But then they talk about this being a performance. Andy asked Stacey, is this just a performance that she's giving? And Stacey says, those QVC videos was already, those videos already prove that this is who I've always been. And they were like, well, that was your job. That was a performance. And Stacey is just unintentionally funny. She's so unserious. Stacey, she's just like, indeed. And Andy's just like, wait. I completely understood her. Wendy and Stacey are dynamic duo during this reunion. They are covering for each other. I agree that her QVC self is a part of who she is. I don't believe the people that go on QVC are necessarily a completely different person than who they are when selling those products. Because there is no script besides of what you're actually selling. So anything that you're adding to it, that's who you are. So I do think that there are levels to Stacey. We've talked about this before. We've already discussed this the other day when we saw the preview of this reunion. There are levels to who we are. Do I think that there is another side to Stacey that where she's a homegirl from Detroit? Yes, because she is a homegirl from Detroit. Are we going to always see that? No. All right. So Giselle says she was just very happy that this was a good promo for the show because she feels, because she's one of the OGs, she feels the arrests have dampened what the show looks like. So Tia calls Stacey out for how she's different on camera. And she remembers hearing Stacey, like they were on one of their cast trips. And she's like, her voice is a little bit deeper. And she uses certain colloquialisms that are, not what she currently, does. So Tia, Stacey's like, well, okay, you're the queen of accents. Stacey, this is where you lose me. I don't think, I very much like how I feel you can have many different levels to who you are, but I guess that's what you're trying to point out with Tia, is that she has different levels to who she is. Yeah, I believe her accent is real, despite people online trying to say that it's not. I believe that's real, but do I believe that she can do an American accent? Yes, because she has American children, so I can see that. I'm sure she can turn on her Nigerian accent too. So... and I think that's fine. The same way I can turn on my Jamaican patois. You know what I mean? So there are levels. So does that make me fake? Does that make me performative? Well, maybe it does. Maybe you all feel that way. Kempire's fake. He's performative. Who's the real Kempire? Even that's different. Even the tone of my voice is different. When I'm on here talking about Sutton, name them. It's different. But can I turn on a Southern Belle accent? I can. But does that make me different? Does that make me fake? Does that make me performative? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. All right? Anyway, let's move on. Miss Bell says, turn it on, Kemp. All right. Let's move on because I'm already I'm already over this whole Tia back and forth, but it is a Tia back and forth. Tia says that she treats travel. Oh, wait, rewinding. Because Tia says to Stacey that she married up, so she feels like she's trying to be prim and proper, which stood out to me. I was just like, what do you mean she married up? What does that mean? Because she married a white man? A white man with money? I don't know. I don't know. So I found that statement to be very interesting. I found it to be very interesting, and it stood out to me when she said that. So she said Stacey married up and that she's trying to be prim and proper. And Stacey says that Tia uses different accents as well. Tia says that Stacey treats travel like it's an accomplishment. Even Ash is like, it is an accomplishment. We've already went through this already, and I'm just sort of like, I'm like, Tia, you need to let this go. You've had months to assess that this did not land. You are fighting a battle that's not your own. It's not your own. Like, you did not. And look, if your mentor is Giselle, then it explains to me that you came to this reunion ill-prepared, because Giselle has come to this reunion ill-prepared since season 1. So I'm not shocked. That you're ill-prepared for this reunion. This is why you need a better mentor. Broke force. Hold on. Where did your comment go? Broke force, girl. What does it say? Oh, Cheyenne. Cheyenne says, Kemp, are you part Jamaican? No, I'm 100% Jamaican. I was just born here. Both my parents are Jamaican. Broke for C girl. That's hilarious. Broke for C girl says, that statement was very weird from Tia. It was. And it told us more about Tia and her perspectives than it does about Stacey. That whole conversation about marrying up, being prim and proper, the whole conversation about travel. I'm like, what? Travel is it is an accomplishment. But okay, it seems like you're trying to be prim and proper. But I already told you. I told you from the top of the season. I felt like they were, and this might not even be on Tia. This could be on production, telling her to talk more about how you grew up, because that's not how she's living now. And it looks like at some particular point, while her father was still alive, that her lifestyle had changed dramatically because of terrible investments that he made. So she lived that life as a kid, but she hasn't lived that life. Because how old is Tia? 40? I don't know. You haven't lived that life in a long time. All right, well, fine. All right, I agree, Mo. Mo says travel is an education. I say that all the time. I tell people to travel, especially now. Traveling now is more than an education. All right. So they have their back and forth. Stacey and Tia have their back and forth. Okay. Stacey is asked about the TJ of it all, because that comes up again. And she says that she stands, when Andy asked her about it, so are you still denying what TJ said during the last reunion? And I have to say, did you guys see Stacey's interview with Sarah Fraser? Stacey basically is still like sidestepping anything when it comes to TJ. I think that there was some sort of settlement with TJ and they signed an NDA, so that's why she doesn't talk about TJ. She doesn't want to, because maybe that will trigger something in their settlement. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what it's giving. Because every time she's asked about it during her Sarah Fraser interview, she's like, why are we still talking about TJ? Blah, blah, blah. She doesn't want to talk about TJ. Okay? Understandably, but girl, he was a part of your... We can't act as if that TJ wasn't there. TJ was part of your storylines last season. We can't just sidestep that. So even when Andy asked her during the reunion, what are your thoughts on like, how do you feel about the whole TJ of it all now? Do you still stand by that he wasn't telling the truth? And she says that I stand in my truth, which says to me, you paid TJ to be on this show. You guys did not have a real relationship. And I get it. You're not going to ever be able to talk about it. Okay. All right. So she just said, that's her response when talking about TJ. I stand in my truth. Well, anytime someone says, I stand in my truth, they are lying. All right? All right. But fine. I honestly, at this particular point, TJ wasn't here this entire season. Let's be done with it. Okay? Stacey says that, oh, here's another lie we got Stacey in. Because Andy asked about her divorce from Timo and if she was the one who filed for divorce. And she says she did. They flashed back to show the complaint in regards to their divorce. And it says that she was the defendant, meaning that he filed for the divorce. Look, maybe she feels like that's what she wants to say. Is it a moot point at this particular point? Yes, it is a moot point. All right, before we move on, hey, Adrian. Adrian says, Tia's comment was giving elitist classes, and I'm going to need for her to show more fabulosity in her lifestyle instead of just telling us that she's a princess. And based on what we saw of her this season, was definitely not giving that. It was more talking about the past, which is fine, but don't come after anyone else. Taurus with the T, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Taurus with the T says, well-traveled and well-married. Clock it. Oh. Okay. Kendra, thank you so much for the Super Chat and for being a member. Kendra says, okay, hear me out. I know who Kay and Angel remind me of. To the people that have seen Inside Out, I have seen Inside Out, their madness and sadness from Riley's emotions. Remember, that's what they said on social media. They even mentioned it during the reunion. That's what they were referring to, madness and sadness. Inside Out is a good animated film, just for anyone, from kids to adults. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. At the end of the movie, we like sadness. Angel, not so much. All right, Kendra, tell us how you really feel. Amy J, thank you for being a member for the Super Chat. Amy says, I was in tears when Wendy was talking about the kids. Take the plea deal if there's no jail time. Those babies need you. Well, you're right. If there's no jail time in that plea deal, I'd take it. Right? Come. If there's no jail time in that plea deal, I would take it. This would be their first time being offended. First time offense. I don't know though, because we've talked about this before with different people that have worked in insurance. If they take a plea deal, that's basically saying that they did it, and that could have bigger ramifications for them in the future outside of just going to jail. So I don't know. They're gonna have to talk to their attorneys with this one. Demi, thank you so much for another Super Chat and for being a member. Demi says, also, if Ashley had that fear, why joke about that part? Thank you, Demi. Ashley's talking about how she is so fearful. That's her number one fear, is going to jail. But the day, remember, the Friday, I was in Amsterdam and y'all got me working. I was on vacation, but not really because I was busy working, especially with this case. Ashley, that night, they picked up filming, and Ashley was already making jokes on the mic. There was more that was said, and I wonder if they're going to talk more about some of the other things that she says. Remember what she also said during that video? We been new. And I said, investigators need to pull up. What did you know, Ashley? What exactly did you know? Okay? So Demi says, also, if Ashley had that fear, why joke about Wendy? Because Ashley is a soulless individual. I said it. Mr. Mellon Magic, did you say what page? My profile picture is the love of Chris Samuel's life, of course. Is that Chris? Is that Cookie? That's Cookie? That's Cookie? Okay, Cookie. You're a weirdo for these pictures. Vivi Vita, thank you so much for the... Oh, let me shimmy. I can't shimmy too much, y'all. I'm still tight. Look, I'll go to chiropractor this week. Vita, there we go. Just because you and your baddies are awesome, I truly love your channel. Thank you so much. You are awesome. Look at that picture. Is that you in the picture with the horse? I know that's right. Thank you for the super chat. Scotty G, thank you so much for the super chat. Scotty says, I think Angel was doing okay until Kay jumped in. She was. I like the fact that Angel during this reunion stepped up and she was chiming in, even when it had nothing necessarily specifically to do with her. She was chiming in. She did it better at this reunion than Kay until Kay chin checked her. Yeah. the secondhand embarrassment, man. Queen of the Horn, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Queen of the Horn, did you catch how Giselle asked Andy what part she should play today regarding Wendy? That's what I was talking about when she was sitting there. Do I need to hold her hand? I'm glad you understand what I was viewing in that moment, Queen of the Horn. That she is an instrument of production. She's an instrument of the network. I mean, sometimes it works, though. During the reunion. Ron Rockstar, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me shimmy. Okay. Wendy should have had her guns loaded for Ashley, given Wendy's allegations. Well, I think we're going to see more between Ashley and Wendy during this reunion. But I have to say, Wendy held her own, despite the allegations against her and all the jokes that could be made. And I know at the end of this reunion, you see Ashley make a dig at her, I only have one social security number. And they made it seem like Wendy didn't say anything. Please understand, the way that Wendy was responding to these women during part one, I know she had a response for Ashley. I know she did. But the way they edited it made it seem like she had nothing to say. We shall see next week. Gadget Girl, thank you so much for the super chat. Gadget Girl says, Giselle is not Wendy's friend. She co-signs everything Ashley says because she wants Ashley to remain on the show. 100%. And that's her only ally. If Ashley leaves, who's her ally? Tia? Tia's not a strong ally. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat. Kendra says, mugshots prove to me they had some happy Eddie. Okay, they deny it, though. Swoleston, thank you so much for the super chat. Swoleston says, Andy's on Threads right now asking everyone's opinion about Housewives and any changes we'd like to see. Hopefully he listens. He's not. Look, he's not. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, Ashley saying her worst fear is going to jail and then making fun of Wendy's experience was a new low I didn't know that she could reach. Every day I understand why she was with that man. Right? I've been saying that so much this season that I understand more and more why she was with Gullum. TJ, thank you so much for the super chat. TJ says, did y'all peep whenever the camera cut to Ashley while Wendy was talking, it looked like she was trying to hold back some sort of laugh or smile, unless that's just her default demeanor. I noticed that there's something very sinister about Ashley, but I just told you she has no soul. She was always making these faces. You're right. I noticed it. Thank you for the super chat. Kendra, thank you for another super chat, Kendra. Kendra says, remember when Garcelle said all skin folk ain't kinfolk? Definitely Wendy and Ashley. Ashley is nobody's friend. Nope. Thank you, Ms. Esquire, for another super chat. Ms. Esquire says, I love to watch a black woman code switch in a way that benefits her. And acting like you don't understand that as another black woman is weird in regards to Tia. All of them, though. Ashley, too. Giselle, too. Tyrese, you glowing in this picture. Thank you for being a member for the super chat. Tyrese says, let's pay attention to who switches up and tries to align themselves with Stacey next season. They can't continue to ice her out when she's a fave. You're going to see Giselle and Stacey make amends next season without a doubt. But I told you, Giselle played this wrong. Giselle should have played this like this was a frenemy situation with Stacey, like she did with Karen. This could have been her Karen this season, and we would have loved to watch that. But instead, it came across everyone was just trying to compound on Stacey. They should have played off of it. It should have been light, fun shade between the two of them, and it didn't come across that way. And if a producer was in Giselle's ear, that's what they should have said to her. Regina, thank you so much for the super chat. Regina says, as far as accents go, most black people code switch. Yeah. Young Eartha Kitt, thank you so much for the super chat. You know who doesn't code switch? Ryan Coogler. And I love that for him. Ryan Coogler said, I ain't code switching for nobody. And I love that for him. Young Eartha Kitt, thank you so much for the super chat. Young Eartha Kitt says, all I walked away with was that Ashley's a nasty piece of work. She's been gross and always will be. The Candace smoke keeps making more and more sense. Not Candace being justified on a season she's not even there. Kendra, thank you so much for another super chat. Thank you, Kendra. Let me shimmy for Kendra. I know by now it's been $20. Kendra says, okay, Tia is giving Drake. Nope, not during Black History Month, ma'am. Don't do that. You mad at Stacey traveling the world and being successful? Oh, Tia. Gloria, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. She says, Tia is just mad that she has to get to work, now. Probably, but she might be. If we're going to break down the psychology of it all, she might be, especially growing up, being privileged and seeing her mother come from a privileged life and marrying a man that gave her more privilege. And then she married a man, no offense to her husband, but she married a man where she still has to work. Maybe that's how she feels. I don't know. Frog, nice name. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Kay is saying, what is this to Angel? Crazy. I know, we're going to get to it in a second. We're going to get to it in a second, guys. Don't forget, the Kempire After Dark, a live show being hosted by myself and Taria Faizan from the What Else Is Going On podcast here in New York City on March 13th. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, go get your tickets today. Go get your tickets. New York, what are you waiting on? March 13th at the Green Room 42. It will also be live streamed. So if you can't come to New York, get the live stream ticket. That is a great option as well. Be sure to check that out. For more information on how you can get your tickets for March 13th, less than a month away. Less than a month away. Will be available in the description. All right, let me get back to this, and I'll get back to some of the super chats. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. We appreciate that. The Cash Apps, the Venmos, all that. We appreciate you guys. And shout out to everyone that supported our sponsors from the last couple of weeks, from Row to Wix to Factor to Rose Forever. We appreciate you all that took advantage of our sponsors. That's important because then those sponsors will want to come back to the channel. So thank you to everyone that supported that. We appreciate you. All right, moving on from there, because we weren't done with Stacey. Damn, let me move on quick. This is why these recaps end up being like 3 hours. All right, but we will be live at 3 p.m. Eastern for our Married to Medicine recap. I have a lot to say in regards to that. A lot to say. All right, but all right, let's move on. Then they move into, okay, so they talk about the TJ of it all. All right, and it goes back into Stacey gets into it with Tia, because Tia was just like, if you had just owned it and we could have moved on from it. Giselle said the same thing. But she's like, people brought information back to us about TJ when we were in LA. You remember when they met up with TJ's friend, the actress? She said, if you had just addressed it, we could have moved on. When Zoe from Brooklyn, I think it was Zoe from Brooklyn that had pointed it. Yeah, Zoe from Brooklyn said, none of Stacey's, quote, lies affect Giselle, Ashley, or Kay. So why were you guys so hard-pressed about them? And Giselle was just like, well, you should just own the TJ. It wasn't just the TJ stuff, though, that you guys harped on with Stacey. You guys harped on everything. Stacey getting back with Timo. Was she actually divorced? Then it was Stacey was dating Chris Samuels. Then it was Stacey brought back this information to Chris Samuels. And I'm just like, you guys harped on not just the TJ. If anything, you didn't harp on the TJ stuff enough. Right? They didn't harp on the TJ stuff enough. But okay. I can't believe I've been talking about TJ this entire time and I didn't do. Sorry, I had to. Had to. Sorry, TJ. You thought you were gonna get away scot-free and I wasn't gonna do it, right? Right. Okay. Moving on. So Tia then explains a little bit more. Backtracking. Giselle says that Stacey Stacey says that Tia only came around her. Remember when they hung out that one time? Came around her to gather information to bring back to her, quote, master. So they all have a big reaction. Ooh, not master. And then Giselle says, well, your master is Wendy. And Wendy was like, I am nobody's master. Wendy's like, I am not going to be a part of this slavery talk. I was like, not in Black History Month. They filmed this before Black History Month. But I'm just saying, definitely not in Black History Month. So then Tia brings up her issue with Stacey was the fact that she lied about knowing Chris Samuels. Tia, did you not watch the show too? We've been talking about this endlessly. She never denied knowing Chris. She said that she knew him socially. And they flash back to like, Timo dated people, I dated people. Knowing someone socially could mean that you went on a date with them. So I need them to stop with the semantics of it all. Like, it's like, she never denied knowing him. What are you doing? Like, what are you guys talking about? So Tia, again, you fell flat. She never denied knowing him. She's like, I know him socially. And I hate the fact that you guys have us defending Stacey like we're stans of Stacey, because we're not. In the illustrious words of Karen Huger, let's be clear. Let's be clear. All right? let's be clear. We're not. But when someone's right, we're going to call out when someone's right. When someone's wrong, we're going to call out when someone's wrong. That's why you got to be team you. All right? Assets, who's watching on Twitch. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. I hear I'm crystal clear. We're streaming in 4K. And I hear the sound is better over there, too, on Twitch. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. Assets says that T is a flop. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. All right. All right. Gigi, I disagree with you. It's like, no, Kempire, knowing someone socially does not mean that she's dating him. She never said she was dating him. She said that they went on dates, meaning Timo went on dates, she went on dates. She could have went on one date with him, and that was it, and she didn't see anything of it. Still doesn't mean that she did. Is it very different than saying that I don't know? I don't know that man. She never said she didn't. There is no clip where it says that Stacey says, I don't know that man. But anyway, all right. Moving on. Giselle, so they're asked about the whole Zoe from Brooklyn. Hey, Zoe from Brooklyn. Asked, why are they so pressed about Stacey and her, quote, lies? And Giselle says that if they were shown information, and what do you expect them not to talk about it? This is what they do on the show. Stacey says that the women have been humiliated by men. She thought that they would give her more grace. And she was right. When you think about the women that are up there, they've all have been humiliated by different men publicly. Giselle by Pastor Jamal Bryant. Kiarna. I mean, the fact that you even brought this damn picture frame to the reunion, you continue to be embarrassed, okay? All right? So, who else was up? Ashley, the Michael Darby of it all. So she's just like, I thought that you guys would be more understanding because that was definitely slick shade. That was grown shade. She's like, you all have been humiliated by men. Okay? So I thought that you guys would be a little bit more gracious. Okay? All right. Moving on from there. Guys, how many people we got in the building? How many likes do we have? We have 700 likes, but we have almost 3,000 people here? Y'all got to do better. Let's get to 1,000 likes. All right? Let's get to 1,000 likes if you're here. I don't understand how it could be nearly 3,000 people here and not everyone has liked the video. And you can like from your television and from your phone and your computer. Just saying. Oh, Miss Esquire said, that reminds me. Let me go check on my Greg's divorce proceedings. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. All right. Moving on from there. So Stacey brings that up. Andy asks how can they move forward? Specifically, he asks if Stacey can move forward with the other women. To me, this is sort of a temperature check that Andy does with the ladies all the time to see whether or not they want to return next season. Honestly, it's a little weird, okay, when he does it, because it's sort of like, speaking of masters, it kind of gives that energy and I don't like it. But he's just like, how can you move forward with this group? And she's like, you know what? I think I could be a little bit more direct with them in the future. And he says, the fans love you. Sometimes when the fans love you the way that they love you, this can go to a housewife's head. And she's like, she was like, never. It would never go to my head. She's like, never. It would never. But she also makes a joke, like whether or not she's going to come back next season. She's like, well, I don't know if I'll, come back next season, if you guys will have me back next season. And Wendy laughs at that too, because we all are laughing. Like, they're going to offer you a contract to come back next season. And Wendy makes a joke. She's just like, yeah, God willing, if you come back next season. Because Wendy knows this game. Wendy's been around for 5 seasons at this particular point. She knows how this game is played. And she's like, Stacey, do you really think that you're not coming back? Hence why I do believe there's a percentage that this friendship between Wendy and Stacey is real. And Stacey needs she needs someone. She needs an ally. But I also feel like a good percentage of this friendship with Stacey is an allyship. It's an alliance. So, and look, she needs it. Wendy needs it. Stacey needed it during the season. Okay? All right. So Stacey jokes whether or not she's going to come back for another season. All right. You never know. You never know. All right. Miss N. Kesey says Stacey and Wendy will be center. That would make them go crazy. And I wouldn't put it past Bravo to do it. Okay? Just to annoy the rest of the ladies. Thank you. All right. We already hit over 1,000 likes. Thank you. I know sometimes you just need a reminder, right? Guys, don't forget you can hear our recaps and special episodes. Sometimes we add additional thoughts to our podcast episodes. So be sure to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. And do me a favor, while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. On Apple, there is our Club Kempire special paid podcast subscription where you can get exclusive content that I don't talk about anywhere else. So subscribe today to that. All right? All right, moving on. Let's get to Angel's package. No. You may have also seen, so let me debunk the fake news that you guys keep reading on Facebook and then regurgitating on other social media platforms. Angel already came out over the weekend to let you guys know that statement that you saw that she wasn't coming back next season is not true. It's fake. I already knew it was fake because if you go to the statement, I was like, okay, where is she? You guys could do your own homework. Go to her profile and see if she posts anything stating this. Did it look like it came from her Instagram story? And y'all just run with it and believe it. And also, you don't even check the account that it came from. Is it a parody account, satire account? So Angel says that in response to that, she's like, I have not made a decision on whether or not she will be returning next season. And I'm like, I know a lot of you say, she needs another chance. The minute you start coming for my marriage, and they didn't just come for her marriage. Monique insinuated that there were correlations between what she went through with Chris Samuels that she notices with Angel and Bobby. That alone, and the way that they came for her the entire season, that alone. Oh, and also when we think about how Ashley tried to make it seem like Bobby's some angry black man, aggressive black man, I was like, I'm not playing these reindeer games with you guys. I'm not doing it. But I think what's more important to Angel is being recognized for herself, being famous, having her own light shined on her. Because we have to remember, she was married. She's a wag, married to someone who's in the spotlight for a long time. She's always wanted to be in the spotlight. Remember where she came from. She used to have her own show, and she used to host the red carpet. She wants the spotlight. So I wouldn't be surprised if she does return next season. I'm open to it. I definitely think, but I want to see Angel return next season without Kiarna, because we saw exactly what I mean without Kiarna in this reunion, because she can't be great with Kiarna there, because Kiarna's going to be like, what's happening here? You're going to always have that. And I want to see a season without Kiarna, not even in friend of role. Nope. She can't be around. And Angel, see if that's your real friend after she's not on the show and you are. And I know you've known each other for almost 20 years, but let's see. Let's see if that's your real friend if you're not on the show. Okay. Just asking. Moving on. So they go through Angel's season, okay? Angel reveals that they did buy a home in Potomac, and it's currently, she's working with the person that helped her renovate the Colorado house. They're working with her on this house in Potomac. Ashley is so cringy. Like, Ashley, you couldn't just be like, congratulations. Ashley's just like, does it have 30 acres? like, Ashley, do you have 30 acres? You literally were on her 30 acres in Colorado. Why is that question? Does it have 30 acres? So Angel responds to her and she's like, well, I'm actually in Potomac. And she was like, well, I could be in Potomac too if I wanted to be. She's like, could you? Ashley, that's another person I do not want to see next season. I really don't want to see it next, because she's become so damn unlikable. Because why was that necessary? Does it have 30 acres? As if Angel doesn't already have 30 acres. She doesn't need another 30 acres in Potomac. All she needs is her multi-million-dollar home. And let's be honest. Let's be very, very, very clear, Ashley. The only reason why you have that house and you're not on the street is because Michael Darby bought you that house in your divorce. Stop it. Let's not sit here and pretend, yes, you make some money on the show, blah, blah, blah. Yes, fine. Girl, the only reason why you're not on the street or living even further out than Wendy is because Michael Darby bought you that home. All right. Exactly. Britt says, mind you, this is Angel's second home. Exactly. And the other home she actually has acreage. 38. We saw it. It's not like we didn't see it. We saw it. We saw it. Anyway, moving on. I thought that was so unnecessary in that moment. So Angel calls out Ashley for not living in Potomac. Ashley claims that she chose not to live in Potomac. Okay, girl. Then Wendy calls out Angel for not calling out Tia for bringing that information in regards to her having to move out of the Airbnb. Okay? And apparently they must have had their own side conversation. Tia says, we had our own conversation in regards to her. She shouldn't have brought that information. That wasn't her right to bring that information to the rest of the group. That should have been something that she did. Okay? But it goes back to what people have been saying about Tia. She couldn't wait to go report back to her. You know what Stacey called her. I'm not going to do it. Not in Black History Month, okay? So, but Wendy points out the hypocrisy of Angel. Like, you had more smoke for me than you did for your friend here, okay? You know Wendy's going to always hold somebody accountable. Is it going to come to bite her in the end? We'll see, okay? Ooh, you're right, Taco. Taco says Michael Darby's money didn't allow Ashley to live in Potomac either, right? Because where did they live? They lived in... The apartment was where? Was that in D.C.? Was that even in D.C. or was that with Virginia too? I can't even remember. Can someone remind me? Where was the apartment? That wasn't in Potomac. All right. Moving on. Let's see. Lord. Wendy. So the group reacts to everyone saying that Bobby's the hottest husband. Everyone's just like, you pay attention to Ashley's face when they say that. Ashley, you are so bothered. Girl, who's your man? Is there going to be a man by your side at this reunion? Is Josh Harlow there? Oh, it was Virginia, right? It was Virginia that Ashley had the apartment. It was Arlington. Thank you. So, homegirl, you could even live in Maryland. Just saying. Anyway. So the group reacts to everyone feeling like Bobby is the hottest house husband. Wendy's just like, I like my Eddie Osefo, my chocolatey Wendy Eddie Osefo. Stacey's like, I like my white chocolate. And then Wendy asks Andy. She's like, Andy, so what kind of chocolate do you like? Wendy, thank you for your service. So Andy says, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Excuse me? Not Andy finally admitting that he likes the black men. Here's the thing, though, with Andy, and we're going to call a thing. Andy has never owned that he's been with black men. He's never had one on the red carpet. He hasn't had one of his boyfriends that he does a show with, like the white ones. You notice how he's talked out. He went on a date with Anderson Cooper. The show he has on Sirius is with his ex-boyfriend. So this is the first time Andy has ever admitted to liking black men, okay? But for those of us in the LGBTQI community know that there are some white men that fetishize us as black men. I'm not saying that Andy does, but... What? Okay. The folks in Harlem, they say they know Andy for a long time. That's what they said. That's what they said. All right. Moving on. moving on. All right. So Kiana and Angel try to address the chin check moment. And this is where it gets a little weird. Because they're trying to address the chin check moment. Wendy's trying to point out that, do you understand where I'm coming from, Angel, now with how you were giving different energy? And Angel is trying to respond to this and said, like, I do see it now. And you all of a sudden, Kiana turns and she cuts off Angel. She's like, what is this? And then Angel whimpers away, and she's just like, oh, I'll let her speak her piece. And Wendy's like, what? Wendy's like, what is happening here? No, babe, speak. Babe, speak your stuff. And Kiana's like, no, this is my moment to talk. Because if you pay attention to part 1 of the reunion, she probably noticed too that she wasn't saying much. And then based off the edit, there was not a lot that was said. Okay? All right, moving on. Not moving on, because I thought that was such a weird moment between Kiana and Angel, because we literally in real time see Angel get chin checked by Kiana. I agree. Kai says that is a strange friendship, bro. And literally that is what Wendy whispers to Giselle, because even Giselle's just like, what is going on there? And then eventually Angel speaks her truth. She's like, oh, I'm going to let Kiana, speak what she wants to speak. So Kiana says it. And Giselle, they start talking about Giselle and the catfish comments. And Wendy points out, do you now own the fact that I'm not the one who said it, but you were so dead set that I was the one that said it, but clearly I wasn't the one that said it. Okay? So Giselle talks about why she brought up the catfish comments. Giselle, this is where I feel like you could have taken accountability, that you were just being shady. But no, instead, you double down and you say, oh, production keeps saying that I'm going to meet this new girl. I'm like, when am I going to meet this new girl? And she's like, production thought I was being shady. And it's like, the person I'm seeing in these pictures is not the person that I'm seeing in front of me. If we're basing off the picture, I might believe that a little bit, the picture that they showed us. However, Giselle, I wish you would have just owned the fact that you were being shady. And that's what Angel said. Like, really? Come on now, Giselle. You were just being shady. You were trying to haze me. And that's exactly how it came across. So Wendy says that Angel was hell-bent on saying that she was the one who said catfish. She says that Angel came into this group with a plan, and she looked at Giselle as a big sister. I 100% agree with Wendy on that. She wanted Giselle's approval. She wanted to be cool with Giselle. She did not expect that Giselle was going to come for her and continue to come for her. So Angel addresses the comments that she made about Wendy's looks, with the a-hole lips and the Forest Whitaker eyes, and says that Wendy makes an expression that's very similar to an expression that Forest Whitaker makes. And she makes her face like, So Wendy's like, so what if I said that you look like James Earl Jones? Oh. And shout out to those of you that pointed out, yes, when you look at a picture of James Earl Jones, may he rest in peace. God rest his soul, as Stacey says. He said, God rest his soul. I was like, that could be her daddy, right? That could be her daddy. And I did not expect, because I didn't see people on the internet saying this. So Wendy, kudos to you. You came prepared for this reunion. Wendy was the MVP for me. Her and Stacey. But Stacey made me laugh. Wendy, with everything that Wendy's going through, the fact that she came there looking the best, answering the questions, responding to the questions, bringing up slick shade. She's like, and what if I called you James Earl Jones? And Andy's like, oh no, not James Earl Jones. Lord, may he rest in peace. And then Stacey says, God rest his soul. God rest his soul. She was dead serious with that. God rest his soul. Okay? All right. OMG. I was like, wait a minute. Where did that come from? So Wendy points out Angel's hypocrisy when talking about people's aesthetic. And you saw interviews that that Angel did, saying, let's stop talking about people and how they look on social media. And that's what you said in that moment with your sister? Hypocrisy. So Kiarna and Angel address the comments that they're madness and sadness. Angel says, I think we were a joy this season. Said no one. Said no one. You watched the same season that we watched. You guys were not a joy to watch. You were definitely madness and sadness the entire season. Kiarna wanted to point out, I don't know if I believe that narrative. I get along with like 80% of the group. Okay. You still came across like madness, and she came across as sadness. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. All right. We're going to move on. But before we move on, I do want to say thank you. Thank you all for everyone that's liked the video already. But we already have over 3,000 of you guys here. So thank you. If you're not subscribed, get to subscribe. We don't just talk about we don't just talk about Real Housewives here. We talk about everything in pop culture. And speaking of pop culture, there is a new Netflix series out. They're not paying me, but they should, Netflix. On America's Next Top Model, a show I grew up watching. Tyra's a part of it, but she's not producing it. There's also an E! Network documentary coming out. I don't know when that's coming out, but the Netflix documentary already came out today. I will be watching it. No promises on when I will be reviewing it, but I will be reviewing it this week. So stay tuned, okay? So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your notifications are on. Okay, if your notifications weren't working today, turn them off, turn them back on. And follow me on X, all right? Or Blue Sky, or Threads, because I post it when I'm going live there too. All right? All right, let me take a sip. We're going to get to the last part of this reunion. I am going to drop the call-in link for our members of the channel, okay? Just because we're going to take quick 30-second comments from each member. Please respect the timer, all right? Let me just do this before we get into this last part of the reunion, okay? All right, so I dropped the call link for all members. So thank you to our members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. All right, and everything Kempire, including our P.O. Box and other ways you can get merch, because you saw you guys were asking for the Are You Okay coffee cups, sweatshirts, T-shirts, all of that's available right now at thehouseofkempire.com. That's HAUS of Kempire.com. Go get your travel mugs. Tag me in them when you post them on your socials. I want to see them. All right. I still haven't got my travel mug. I need to order that. Way of Keith, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Way of Keith says, Tia the princess must be selling $100 homes for Stacey's house to be bigger than hers. Ashley has nothing but sunflower seeds in her head. Well, damn. Frog, thank you so much for the super chat. Frog says, Wendy and Stacey were kikiing a lot together during part 1, even though they weren't on the same couch. It was cute. Yeah, it was like perfect. They were across from each other. It was perfect. It was definitely perfect. So far, they're having a very good reunion. Naturally Dope, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Naturally Dope says, Stacey has potential. Not potential. One of the things I forgot to mention was Wendy and Stacey, they talk about the whole weed line thing. You know, I probably skipped over it because I feel like we've talked about this endlessly in regards to the whole weed line situation. Stacey was asked about this during the last reunion. Apparently, she had not signed a deal yet. And when asked about it during this reunion, why didn't you say this? She says to Giselle, because she's like, I don't owe you that, Giselle. I love that. She's like, I don't owe you that. But what I don't understand, and I wish someone at this reunion would say it, and maybe they did and it was edited out, why would you announce anything if nothing has been maybe solidified? And even if Giselle decides to bring it up, that doesn't mean I have to talk about it. Because what if there is a deal that I'm talking about or in the works and it falls through and then I don't, and we come to season 10, what happened to your weed line? Because then you would drag her for that. What part of that don't you understand? Giselle, you had a whole makeup business. And I remember when Giselle launched that makeup business, it was very early on in Potomac. I was really happy for Giselle. It's like, yes, Giselle, use this platform. And apparently the makeup was really good. I don't know why they decided not to keep pushing even after the pandemic. I understood after the pandemic what happened. But maybe it was just too much of a risk financially. I don't know. But I heard the makeup was good. Every hue, I heard the makeup was good. But you of all people should understand how business works. So you can't sit here and be like, oh, none of these people know how business works. You guys have had businesses before. Ashley, you had a business before. I mean, it failed too. I don't understand why you guys don't understand. Just because I'm in talks to do all kinds of things that I haven't shared with you guys. Because I've seen over the years in doing this that there are interviews that could happen. Do I announce an interview until it's done? No. Because sometimes things happen. Schedules change. Things fall through. People get arrested. You can't announce them until it actually happens. Until everything is signed off. What part of that don't they understand? Nicole, thank you so much for your generous $50. Let me shimmy. Motorboat. Nicole, thank you for the super chat. Nicole says, thank you. Every day I had struggled as a Black woman in this country, heartbroken. I stand in my power. I wish I can give you more love and light. Nicole, this is more than enough. So thank you so much. And look, again, guys, you don't have to send in super chats. I appreciate the super chats. Trust me, I do. And the Venmos and the Cash Apps, because then we don't have a middleman. Just saying. YouTube takes their portion too. So thank you. But you can also support just by liking today's video, by continuing to watch, by subscribing. All of that is helpful. Okay? All right. Dina, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Dina says, Angel's, quote, friend came on another channel and said that Angel's house was actually in a gated community on 36 acres. Okay. Thank you, Dina, for that tea. I love it. I wonder. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, clearly they didn't spend the $7 million that she said that the budget was. They spent like a little bit over $2 million. But again, they already have a beautiful, it's still $1 million property. Vivi Vidal, thank you so much or Vivi Vida. Thank you so much for super chat. I crack up every time you say Vivi Vida. Just say Vidal. Thank you, Vidal. I appreciate that. Thank you. You didn't tell me if that was you in the picture, though. Chef Lorraine, thank you so much for the super chat. Chef Lorraine, what is that? Are those cinnamon rolls? Look. What's that in the picture? Are those cinnamon rolls? Chef Lorraine, thank you for being a member for the super chat. Chef Lorraine says, Kiarna don't want Angel to shine, and Ashley is a hater. Yeah. And she just let it happen. Maybe Angel feels a loyalty to Kiarna because she probably feels like maybe Kiarna got her the conversation with the network and production. So maybe that's why she feels loyal to her. Girl, that's the real test of your friendship is if you come back next season and Kiarna's not asked to come back, that's going to be the real test. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Esquire says, comparing a Black woman's looks to a man is the deeply racist and sexist trope. Nasty work, not during Black History Month. In regards to Angel making comments about the Forrest Whitaker eyes to Wendy. All right. Wave Key says, Chef Lorraine passed him one. Yes. Asset says, Kempire is such a tourist, always talking about food. Well, I cannot wait to be done with this live so I can go eat something before our next live at 3 p.m. Eastern for Married to Medicine. All right? So callers, y'all better be, if y'all don't pay, I'm just going to drop you off the call, okay? Please respect the timer. But before we even get to callers, I do want to mention the last part of this reunion because Ashley is in the hot seat. So Ashley says that it wasn't that deep when she was talking about the catfish or bringing the catfish to the family fun event, okay? She says it was a joke. She's like, you need to learn how to laugh. It's shade. It's light shade, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. I agree. Angel she was a little bit, the sadness and was a little too sensitive. I will say that. However, we're talking about how many weeks later that we see that you're still harping on the catfish of it all. At this particular point, we should not be still talking about the catfish of it all and you bringing catfish. You also don't have that type of friendship with her. I think she probably would have been open to that if you had that type of friendship with her, but you don't. So now it just feels like bullying because it's one thing, another thing, one thing. So is she supposed to also laugh about the eviction conversation that you were trying to spread as well? But anyway, All right. And then that's the thing too. During the family fun day, they brought up the eviction too. I know it was Wendy who said they said you were evicted, girl. This was all of y'all. So why would that land as a joke for her when you guys keep coming for her? But all right. So Andy calls out Ashley's behavior from the viewers because they were like, Ashley, we used to like your messy behavior, but this season it came across mean. And Ashley seemed so confused. She's like, mean? Like, how was I mean this season? So Angel chimes in. Me, Stacey, Wendy after she got put in jail. So she's like, those are the examples. So then they flash back to when Ashley was having a performance and saying that Zen Wen is in the pen. But she said a lot more. And I wonder if they're going to talk about it in the later parts of the reunion. That's not the only thing that she said. She said that, we been new. We're not surprised. This is news to y'all. We been new. What did y'all know? I hope that comes up at the reunion. I don't need them to address this next season. No, I need it to come up at the reunion so we can just put a button on it. What did y'all know? Because we all were shocked. We thought it was AI when we saw this photo of Wendy and Eddie arrested. We thought that people sent it to me. It was like the afternoon in Amsterdam. And I said, this is not real, is it? Is this real? But okay. So she says that, then she addresses that. She's like, I thought it was a joke. I saw you smiling in the photo. I thought it was a joke. At that particular point, this is Friday night that you're having this performance. And you knew at this particular point that it wasn't a joke. You also, at the same reunion, talked about your number one fear is going to jail. You knew that this wasn't a joke, Ashley. This tells me that Ashley has no soul. I told you guys. She has no soul. Okay? Ashley says that Wendy was smiling in the photo, so she didn't know the severity of her situation. What? She didn't know the severity of the situation. She went to jail. Okay? So Wendy says that someone told her, she's like, you know what? It's not even just what she said that night. She says someone told her that this was some sort of vendetta that Ashley has had against Wendy, that she's never liked Wendy. And Wendy says that, who do you think told her that? Well, here's the thing. Ashley then tries to make excuses. She brings up, when you first came on the show, you had this air like you superiority over us. So you just proved Wendy's point that you have had a vendetta since that season because you guys have not had an issue in recent months. So you've had a vendetta. You've never liked Wendy. And based off some of the things that you've been saying, you never did like Wendy. Like, oh, she needed a friend. Some of the interviews that she's been doing, like, oh, Wendy needed a friend. That's why her and Stacey are cool now, blah, blah, blah. So you just proved that whoever told that to Wendy were right, that you've always had a vendetta against her. Did Candace tell you that, Wendy? Just asking. All right. So Wendy says that how Ashley views how Ashley views her has nothing to do with her and everything to do with Ashley. Ashley says, well, what I don't do is vilify my accomplishments. Wendy's like, what accomplishments? And she was just like, she's like, I have one social security number. I will give Ashley that one. That was a good one. All right. Well, she could also say, I only have one identity. The way that this was edited, it's going to seem like Wendy doesn't say anything and that Wendy's mute. Like, that shut her up. No. We're going to see Wendy say something during the part two of this reunion. But I'm going to give it to Ashley. I'm going to give it to Wendy. It was a good sparring. Wendy's just like, Ashley, I don't vilify my accomplishments. How was that vilifying her accomplishments? That part I also didn't understand. Words mean things, Ashley. I don't think that's what you meant, but I don't vilify my accomplishments. And Wendy's like, what accomplishments? She's like, I only have one social security number. Okay. Lord. All right. So that is it in regards to part 1 of the Real Housewives of Potomac season 10 reunion. We're going to get to some quick callers. Callers, please respect the timer. I got to get off here so I can watch Married to Medicine, because we will be recapping Married to Medicine at 3 p.m. Eastern, okay? Exactly, Malicious. We don't know if there were multiple Social Security numbers. She said, did they have multiple Social Security numbers or aliases for package deliveries? Well, that is what Wendy and her attorneys are saying, that those aliases were for packages, but the prosecution is saying that it was for something else. And that they had how many credit cards? 40-something credit cards, they said? And then Cameron talking about having 4 phones. I don't know. Yes. Ozier says, I think she meant weaponized, damn dummy. Because when she said vilify her accomplishments, I was like, I don't think that's what you mean. But yes, Ozier, beautiful photo, Ozier. And if I'm mispronouncing your name, I apologize. Please let me know the correct pronunciation. All right, let's get to the callers. Keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, okay? And everything that they say is of their opinion and alleged, okay? Shadrika, thank you so much for the super chat. Shadrika, beautiful photo. I like that hair color, Shadrika. All right. Shadrika says, I find Wendy's reasoning behind Stacey's weed brand name interesting. Oh, I forgot about that. We talked about this, I think on Friday when we were talking about the clip, in regards to Wendy saying that she feels like that the reason why Stacey named her cannabis line something Nigerian was the fact that she wanted to take a dig at Wendy and Eddie because of what they did to her with the TJ of it all during the last reunion. I will say this though, based on Stacey's response, she didn't deny it. She's like, really? That's interesting. And Giselle looks at Wendy. She's like, you think that she's that deep? She's like, no, I think she's that smart. Okay. I don't know. I do feel like that could be a bit of a reach because that's your whole brand name. But I will say, Stacey didn't deny it. She didn't deny it. Thank you, Shadrika, for the super chat. Vidal, thank you so much for the another super chat. She said, yes, that's me in the photo, my 40th birthday shoot. Yes, okay, horses. All right, this is perfect for, because that was the whole theme of the reunion for Potomac, horses. Ron, thank you so much for the super chat. Ron says, side note, the great Robert Duvall just passed away at the age of 95 years old. Oh, no, I didn't see that. 95. Wow. That's a blessing, though, to live that long. Well, thank you so much, Ron, for letting us know. Rest in peace to Robert Duvall. Your finance auntie, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Fire Megamind, bulbous head self. Damn. Not Megamind. Ariana, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Ariana says, can't call in, but love this episode. Best part 1 in years. 8 out of 10. And props to Wendy for standing tall for now. Ashley is no longer needed. Thank you, Ariana. All right, y'all. I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. Let's get to 1,500 likes. We already have over 1,000 of you watching on multiple platforms. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Who is following us on Facebook? Kempire on Facebook and Kempire Daily. So make sure you like our fan pages on Facebook as well. We got them back. Did I tell y'all? I told you that my Facebook was hacked. Make sure y'all update your passwords and things like that. Not even my main Facebook. It was weird. I don't know how they did it. It was through my business Facebook. They hacked into my Facebook account and they got control of my Kempire and Kempire Daily fan pages. I got them back though. This was around the holidays. I got them back, but then it was like a whole thing. Thank God for like different security mechanisms and two-point verifications and stuff like that, because I was like, what in the? And it was from another country. I think it was like Thailand that they were doing it. But anyway. All right, let's move on. Let me get to the calls. Let me stop talking. I've been talking a lot, and I have more to talk about later for Married to Medicine, all right? Thank you so much, MB. MB says, I'm following you on Facebook. I'm on there now. Thank you, MB. Thank you. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys are following us, all right? Mods, if we can post the links to those Facebook fan pages, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, mods. Okay? All right, let's get to our callers. Let me see who's back. Damn, backstage is full, so please respect the timer, everyone. 30 seconds, okay? All right, let's bring up Taurus with the T. Taurus with the T, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kemp. Happy
You
Monday.
too.
Wanted to share that I am not buying the Wendy and Eddie being sad of it all. For
Mm.
them to say, for such highly educated people to say, oh, I don't know, when I go to jail, I have to do everything that they say. They take away autonomy. I have to do this, that. Girl, do you not watch TV with the rest of us? We know what happens when you go to jail. And then Ashley, well, I've never been to jail, Kemp. Don't look at me like that. But like, come on. Have we never watched Orange is the New Black? We know what happens in jail. But also Ashley, she is such a hypocrite. Angel should have asked her, Ashley, does your mom and stepfather have 30 acres or do they have 30 tents? Goodbye.
Damn. I mean, there's so many jokes that Angel could have come with that. So many jokes about John, about Sheila. But okay. Nia's backstage. Nia, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So I think Salt Lake City needs to take notes. I think this was is gonna be Potomac's best reunion yet. And I honestly think I'm just calling in to say, yeah, Ashley is a mean girl, full stop. She became besties with regular Robin and Giselle, and I feel like she just kind of low-key adopted their behavior. And honestly, this whole catfish joke is out of control. I don't know if anyone caught on to Angel, but it literally sounded like she was about to cry. So I'm like, just get over it. Okay, it's a catfish photo. At this point, it is bullying, and it's not nice. And it's like, at least Angel can move her face. Ashley is not even 40 yet. Can she move her face? Thank you, and have a great day.
Thanks to Nia. Elle, my bell's backstage. Elle, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire Mod in chat. So first of all, since Robert Duvall has passed, he lives not too far. He's in Virginia. He's in an area called the Plains, a very wealthy area. And he would come out from time to time whenever they had if something was going to happen, he was like, no, don't do that. When they were changed with the land. So I say that, sorry to hear. And as far as Wendy, she told Angel, you saw Giselle as a big sister. If you go to season 6, the Williamsburg trip, where Giselle and Robin are going after her, she goes to Karen and cries, I saw Giselle as a big sister. Yes, check it out. And then I just wanted to throw in, because we keep mentioning this, Potomac, the name comes from the Potomac-Womack tribe of Virginia. This tribe is from Virginia. The name is from Virginia. It's just shared in the DMV area. I do history, a lot of Black American Indian history that I love.
Thank you, Elle. That was so informative, that entire call. Thank you, Elle. All right. Lovely's backstage. We're going to bring Lovely up next. Lovely, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, you're the hardest working man we can see.
Thank you.
But what I want to say was, with Wendy, she gave us enough, but, she kept it, like other ones, they evade the questions and not come to the reunion whatsoever. She came, she showed up, she gave her what we needed, not all of it, but so she can only say so much. And Stewie need to take a lesson. She need to be quiet. She's always been nasty. When she first came on there, it wasn't because of Giselle and Robin, because she came on there doing background checks on Robin, saying, she only had $20 in her bank account. So she need to stop. Giselle gave me the highlight when she came out, and Andy said she was going to be sitting next to Wendy and not next to him. Her face dropped to the floor. She talking about somebody wig being sideways. Girl, you need to tell Cal to just keep being a barber, because the hairstyle is not cutting. With Angel, girl, get her backbone. These people are rough and heartless.
All right, Lovely, your time is up. I got to go.
That's all I got.
Thanks, Lovely.
That's all I got.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. We got to be respectful of everyone. There's a long line. I haven't even dropped the call link for the general audience yet. And I won't be until we get to 1,500 likes. All right, Miss Esquire's backstage. Miss Esquire, what's going on?
Hello, happy Obama Day to you.
Yes.
So Ashley needs to be real careful with that. Y'all didn't know, but we've been known. Don't make yourself a witness in Wendy's case, honey. You need to hush up. Some shade ain't worth giving. Because if you knew things about this fraud, if I'm the prosecutor and I'm watching this show, I'm calling you and I'm asking you what you knew. This show is never beating the colorists and the anti-Black allegations, just never beating them. I will say, Wendy cannot take a plea deal, y'all. I can't explain it enough that unless they are going to reduce those charges to something other than fraud, she has to fight this case, because pleading guilty to fraud will ruin her life. It will make everything in her life much more harder to access and do. So if you don't understand why she's fighting that case, we can have another conversation about that. But she has to, until they will reduce those charges to something else. But yeah, great reunion. Really enjoyed it. Hope Angel does not come back. I was really hoping that statement was not AI, because she's not long for this world. But that's it. Also, Greg filed to modify his child support.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's a part of the custody hearing now, is her modifying custody and him modifying his child support.
So him going to buy a $100,000 engagement ring on national television probably did not look good for him in these court proceedings.
Probably didn't go over well, honey. And his ex-wife has filed an opposition to that motion for him to modify custody. I can't see all the exhibits, but I would imagine some of the flossing he's been doing on national television is a part of it. Again, be careful what you put on TV, baby. It might end up in court. Bye.
Thanks, Ms. Esquire. That's why we didn't give Ms. Esquire a time limit, because she brought us information. She addressed the legality of the fraud situation for Wendy, and she gave us an update on Greg and his situation. Yeah, and he was trying to floss on that show this season at her, I think, instruction. Hyatt's backstage. We're going to bring Hyatt up next. Hyatt, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Hope you're well. I'm so happy you brought up how Giselle was acting early on. Little side conversation with Andy tells me everything. And what's annoying about this is, like, Giselle is not the smartest, so you can tell what's going on, and those, like, the wheels are spinning. Like, how do I do what they tell me what to do? They need like a Phaedra who kind of covers her hands a little bit better, but that's my thing. And then in terms of Ashley, only thing I gotta say to Ashley is, you need to be afraid of jail when you were married to Golem. That's it.
Oh, that was perfect. Thanks, Hyatt. All right, let's bring up O'Shea. O'Shea, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. Hey. It's like the first time in years that Potomac has had a good first part reunion that's not overly toxic and overly dramatic. It was nice to watch.
Yeah.
And even though Wendy did hold her own, she's not well. To be able to switch on and off like that is, I don't know, it's a lot. And I think it has a lot to do with a lot of this fan base overly infantilizes her. She's a grown woman. This is, I don't know. But yeah, that's it for me. Kempire.
Thanks, O'Shea.
Thanks.
Take care. All right, let's bring up Miss Sharon next. Hold on, Miss Sharon. Oh, she did that in 20 seconds. Hey, Miss Sharon.
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fine. I got my mug that I ordered. It's nice. I like it because it's a lot bigger and it's a lot thicker.
Oh, I'm going to leave that alone, Miss Sharon. Miss Sharon, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting, always.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, I was confused by Tia, and Tia's my favorite person, my favorite new person.
Really?
And I was confused by that comment that she made that about Stacey. I didn't understand it. Is it an English thing? I don't know.
No, it's might be another thing.
Yeah, okay. But then anyway, I'm sorry, I'm not a Stacey fan, and really I don't want her to come back next year because she's a liar, and I don't know, she's just weird. There's something about her I just don't like. And well, I gotta go.
Thank you, Miss Sharon.
Bye.
Bye. I'm sorry. Exactly. Foxy Feline and it says we need that review in writing. I'm sorry. I was bringing it to Kempire After Dark. Don't forget, the Kempire After Dark, a live show, returns to New York City on March 13th, less than a month away. Our special guest host will be Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast. She will probably be giving us an update on the Wendy Osefo of it all. So go get your tickets today if you haven't already. And don't forget, more ticket information will be available in the description. There's meet and greet tickets available, but there's also a live stream ticket available for those that cannot come to New York City. But if you can, if you're in Philly, if you're in DC, if you are in the tri-state area of New York City, this is your opportunity to come see it live. I won't be doing another show for the rest of the year because this is already a lot of work. Okay? All right. Let's move on. Nota Queen's backstage. We're going to bring up next. Nota Queen, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Giselle famously uses this show as a job, so I don't understand why it's a problem when Stacey does it. She's clocking in just like you. Ashley Darby proves every single day that everything that Candace has ever said about her has been correct. Just like she was mad at Candace's mom for being able to buy her child a house, something that Ashley has yet to been able to do. Now she's mad at Wendy for having multiple degrees. And when Wendy, and this is another time that somebody's asked Ashley, what accomplishments has she had other than laying on her back? And she has yet to give us a proper answer. So I'll give her little social security number thing, but I'm still waiting for the response. But you have a good one.
Thanks, Nota Queen. Woo! Woo! Noda Queen called in to our dating live on Friday. If you missed it, we had a really great conversations with a bunch of our community. So if you were looking for advice, if you were just looking for some entertainment, that was a great conversation. Be sure to check it out. You can also hear it on the Kempire podcast as well. All right, guys, we're almost at 1,500 likes. I'll drop the call link for you guys in just a second once we get to 1,500 likes, okay? But next up is April Aries. April Aries, what did you want to share? April, you're muted. Oh,
sorry.
That's okay.
Good afternoon, Kempire. I'm calling you on my lunch break. But I did enjoy this Potomac reunion. And I'm sorry, but I would have told Ashley, oh, so you have one social security number? Was that before or after your mama moved you out the tent? Oh, does she still live in that tent? Okay, you can't talk to me. Or did Gullum get it for you? Next question. Please move on. Don't do that. Angel needs to stand up for herself against Kiana because that is not a friendship, baby. Friendship is a two-way street. And if you would have chin-checked me, I would have chin-checked you up out my life. Don't do that. We don't play them type of rockhead games over there. But enjoy the rest of your day, Kempire.
Thanks, April. Bye. Damn. All right. Jasmine's backstage. I'm going to bring Jasmine up next. Jasmine, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
Happy Monday.
You too.
First of all, Rockhead Games got me. The whole thing of Ashley and Giselle, I really wish that those women would have really dug in their behinds a little bit more than they did. I feel like in episode 1 of the reunion, they got off a little bit too scot-free for me. So I hope episode 2, they whack them, especially if you already halfway out the door. Just go out on a high note, Angel, Kiana. Just go out on a high note. Yeah. And my last thing I want to say is I went over there to Andy's thing on Threads. He asked about the housewives. Good amount of those comments was get rid of Giselle and Ashley. So y'all just keep on holding the line, y'all. We might get them up out of here. Bye, Kempire.
I definitely don't think it's going to be Giselle, though. I think it'll be Ashley.
I don't think it will, but I will take Ashley. I will deal with Giselle. But Ashley, she got to go.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
Thanks, Jasmine. Yeah, I think definitely it would be Ashley before Giselle. They, especially with Karen coming back next season, they haven't confirmed that, but I definitely think that Karen will be coming back next season. They're going to want someone to have that relationship, and it's not going to be Ashley. I could definitely see Ashley coming back as a friend of, if that, but definitely not full-time next season. All right, Virgo's backstage. We're going to bring Virgo up next. Virgo, what did you want to share about this episode?
Hey, Kempire. Hello,
Hey.
America.
Yeah.
So, question. So, are we saying that Angel's original pictures are McDonald's and her catfish ones are McDowell's? Shout out to James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's it. All right. Thanks, Virgo. Yeah, because if you know, coming to America. Just saying. Angel's backstage. We're going to bring up Angel next. Angel, not Angel Massey. Our Angel, W. What's going on, Angel?
Hey, Kempire. Happy Monday.
You too.
I just want to say reunion part 1 was fire. I was here for it. I was glad Andy started it off by asking Pam, a.k.a. Wendy, most of the tough questions. She held her own this first part. I'm waiting to see how it plays in part 2 and 3 if she continues to hold her own. But MVP goes to Wendy and Stacey. That is it. And Tia and Ashley, you completely flopped. Goodbye. Thank you for your services.
Oh, all right. Thanks, Angel. All right. And that was in 15 seconds. Lord have mercy. That was good. All right. We're going to bring up, we haven't reached 1,500 likes yet. I did drop the call link for Twitch members. That was our Twitch fam. But unless we get to 1,500 likes, I'm not dropping the call in link. I gotta be tough because I got somewhere to be at 3 p.m. All right. NASA Glows. Thank you so much for the super chat. NASA says, oh, let me shimmy. $20. Says, however, if Wendy fights the case and still ends up losing, she will still unfortunately face lasting consequences due to the fraud charges. Yeah. Damn. Like I hate to see this. I really do. Thank you so much, Frog, for the another super chat. Do you want Ashley back next season No, Frog, please. I gave her that one moment. I don't want to see Ashley back next season. I definitely don't. And I know some people get upset when we talk about someone not coming back because we don't want anyone to lose their job in this economy. If your job is reality television, you take the risk that you will not be asked back. It doesn't give you job security. That's just the nature of being on reality television. You're not getting residuals. There's no job security. You're filming for a couple of months. There's no guarantee that you saw what Stacey says, if you guys will have me back. Even though that she knows she's coming back. But she might decide, no, I don't want to come back. It's not worth my life or my family. Angel really should be thinking about that, just saying. All right, let me bring up Keith next. Keith, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So first of all, I just want to say, Kay may not have any biological kids, but it's clear that Angel is definitely her son because the way she just sons her every chance she gets, I'm actually embarrassed for her. And also, Ashley, I actually kind of find it funny that you want to talk about having a sense of humor, but what I actually find really funny is having threesomes with a man that cheats on you and then goes out to London to have, with boys out in London. But what's also funny is watching your man on television squeezing the behind of a producer and then you still defending him. But what do I know? I don't have a sense of humor. But yeah, that's about it.
Damn. All right, cold-blooded. Thanks, Keith. Woo. Well, damn. All right, we're like one like away from 1,500 likes. Okay, we just hit 1,500 likes. I'll drop the call link for the general audience. There you guys go. You're lucky because Toya's backstage waiting, okay? Let's bring up Toya next. Toya, what's going on?
Kempire, can you hear me?
Barely. Do you have headphones on?
Yes, and I'm outside. I just wanted to say really quickly, can you hear me? Are you good?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, I wonder if Wendy can get an Alfred plea where you're not like saying like you are pleading guilty, but you're also admitting that the evidence against you is overwhelming. So sometimes people do that. They don't plead guilty, they take the Alfred plea. But I know Ms. Esquire already came up. But I also want to say I do like that she was very open and honest with her kids. And that's not something that as a Jamaican I've experienced. So I love that. She's trying to be a little bit different. I think she did a good job. Thanks, Kempire.
Thank you so much for calling in, Toya. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess we would have to wait and see. This is all going. That's a good question to ask our attorney friends in regards to: is there any way that they could come up with some sort of plea deal that would not have lasting effects when it comes to their lives? So I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Oh yeah, that's the term. That's the term that she was thinking of. No contest. I don't know, Miss Esquire. Can you call back in? Can you call back in? Oh, because I got a question. All right, let me take these last couple of callers, guys. Kiki's backstage. Kiki, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. So quickly, I think Kay can go. Honestly, Kay is giving mean girl. She's giving bully. I just don't understand where her energy is coming from, but she's really putting a damper on the show. I can't stand Kay. I can't believe I liked her at some point, but yeah, no, she should just go. She's just negative, so yeah.
Ooh. All right, thanks, Kiki. All right, we got Kyle backstage. We're going to bring Kyle up next. Kyle, what did you want to share in regards to Potomac's reunion?
I want to say that people call Stacey a liar, but I think that Stacey is strategic because with this group of girls, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So, like, I don't think telling a bunch of bitches your personal information that are out to get you is strategic anyways. And we see that happen with Angel. Angel tried to come and be transparent, and they threw her under the bus. So I think people need to stop calling Stacey a liar and realize she's clocking in just like Giselle's clocking in.
Oh, all right. Thanks, Kyle.
You
too. All right. We're going to bring up Ty. Where are you?
I'm at the gym.
I know that's right. Get your workout in. What you working on today, Ty?
Today's core day.
Okay. All right. I need to go hit the gym myself. All right. What did you want to share?
I wanted to respond to Ashley. I only have one social security number. Well, that's all you need when everything is in Michael's name. Bye, Kempire.
Thanks, Ty. Enjoy your workout. Damn. All right. Oh, wait. All right. One of our faves is here. Hey, represent yourself, legal. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me, Kim?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on my headphones walking through the airport. I'm doing good. Good to see everybody.
Where you going?
I'm in Santa Fe.
Oh, okay. So you're going back home?
No, I'm just gonna chill out here in the desert for a little while.
I know that's right. I wish I could do that.
You can.
You right. Okay. Did you hear some of the questions that people have in regards to Wendy, whether or not she should take a plea deal and not take a plea deal? I know Ms. Esquire weighed in. She even gave you a shout out. Let me just read her comment. I want Coco Esquire to talk about whether the Alford plea would change any impact of the fraud charges on their lives.
I haven't looked that up, so I'm not. Give me a minute to process that. I called in to say beautiful dresses, beautiful dresses. Dresses. I'll think about that question. I did hear the one about no contest,
yes.
And I think that no contest certainly happens in some instances. I think that given the dollar amount of this particular question, it would be unlikely that they would offer a no contest, because you got to think about it. You have a corporation is the victim here. And this is the exact type of white-collar-ish crime that we need to deter. Shoot, I want it deterred because it makes all of our premiums go up, right? And so I think you see no contest typically for crimes with lesser impact. So maybe had it been a $20,000 issue or a $10,000 issue. But this is a lot of money we're talking about.
Technically, they never got the 400-something thousand. Would that matter?
Well, what did they actually get?
Like 20-something thousand?
I mean, I think that bodes in their favor, but the fact that they sought to get it is problematic. Also, the fact that this is a great opportunity for the DA's case to deter crime. I mean, they know she's a celebrity. Everybody's going to see it. By everybody seeing it, it will likely, or hopefully, this ain't scientific, but reduce the likelihood that others may do the same thing. And so I do think that, I don't know about this Alford plea situation, so I don't speak on it.
We're going to be continuing to talk about this, I'm sure, for the next parts of the reunion. So think about it and call back.
And I just want to reiterate what I did hear Ms. Esquire call in. The issue here is the fraud. And once you are adjudicated in this country to be a liar, to be a fraudulent person, you will never be able to present yourself as trustworthy in any venue. And that's the issue here. So nobody will, they can say Stacey is lying, but she hasn't been adjudicated as a liar. So that's just, but if she were to go to court and they were to adjudicate her as a liar, then she will be a bona fide liar, which will prevent her from doing business in almost every single industry where honesty is at the core.
Can I just ask you this? Stacey technically lied.
Yes,
Stacey technically lied that she was the one that filed for divorce, but the court docs show that he was the plaintiff and she was the defendant. Does that make her officially a liar?
Yeah, no, she's still not officially one. She just misstated.
Okay. Good lawyer.
She would officially be one had someone brought her to court and had a judge evaluate impartial evidence and determine her to actually have made this misrepresentation with intentionality to deceive, et cetera, et cetera. So it's the intentionality part of it is pretty significant. And even though we know that she probably tells tall tales, as does Giselle, as does Ashley, once you get a stamp from a judge, it's really hard to come back from that. And so, shout out to Wendy, though. She looked amazing. I think she did a great job considering. But then we also saw one more thing, Kempire. Did you see where she was talking about evidence in someone else's case? I can't remember the one. I was like, look at Wendy not being a lawyer. So she knows what's up. She knows what she's up against, and that's why she's sick with it.
Yeah, I think she handled herself really well. Do you think she really prepped with her attorneys?
Oh, absolutely. I think she prepped with her attorneys. I think she prepped with the God. I think she prepped with the people her mama be praying to. I think she prepped to everybody. I forget what they call it. But yes, I think she did a great job, and she looked the best. I was like, wow, I want to get that little feather thing going on the next time I step out like that. It was beautiful. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in, despite you taking a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I was listening to you as we were deplaning. So.
Oh, I know, that's right.
Okay.
Enjoy. I'll talk to you soon.
Y'all.
Bye. I love that. See, people that travel. That is a win. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. Travel, and she's right. I could literally be working from a beach right now, and I should. Look, maybe I will. It's been so cold here in New York. Oh my God, I'm like over it at this point. All right, let me get to the rest of these callers, okay? Really quickly. Bernice, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. So I just wanted to say there's a part in the reunion where Karen is like, shut up, Wendy, you talking too much. In the beginning of that reunion, when they show her and Eddie, it made them kind of look guilty because she was like, do you think this is going to affect our marriage? Am I going to look at you different? It's like if she was saying, if worse come to shove, I'm going to put the blame all on you. But then because it's like if it was his idea to do, and then will she resent him, have some type of resentment for him? So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, is they confessing?
Yeah. Or just they were stressed. Bernice. Thanks for calling in, Bernice. All right, we're going to bring up Blessed Jess. What's going on? What did you want to share? You're muted?
Kempire.
Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to say that I've been listening and reading Wendy's book. And in the book, she did talk about how, as a Nigerian, she has to show up a certain way and has to always like put on a brave face and everything. And she also did talk about how Eddie did want to pursue her. And she mentioned about like him not having a car, but she said in the book that she said that because she really wanted to pass her exams, pass the bar, and like, you know, because she basically had a semester like where she got like bad grades or something like that. And she really wanted to take that time to focus on her education. So that was just what I want to point out. But I'll call in and like bring in certain things that I'm seeing from the book that I see that are that are reflecting right now.
Thank you, Blessed Jess. We appreciate that.
No problem.
Take care. All right. Last but definitely not least, we're going to bring up Brandy. Brandy, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Did anybody mention when Andy asked Stacey who filed for divorce?
Yeah.
And she said she did. Okay, I didn't hear that part. But yeah, I'm like, poor Stacey. She's just always getting caught in a lie.
No, she doesn't hear that many lies.
yeah, but that was one though.
You didn't hear? I just asked Coco Esquire about that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't hear. I was distracted for a second.
That's okay. Is that it?
That was it.
Thanks for calling in, Brandy.
All right.
Bye. All right. Thanks to everyone that called in. Thank you guys already for over 1,500 likes. But if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on part 1 of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. What stood out to you? Who stood out to you? What did we not talk about? I feel like we talked about a lot. I was writing down all kinds of notes. Allie, thank you so much for the super chat. Allie says, hold on. Rick Scott stole over $1 billion from Medicare. He's current sitting U.S. Senator. Fraud is no longer the end all be all in this country. Allie, is Rick Scott a white man? He is, I know. It's a little different. The president. Lots of fraud there. We all know that it lands a little bit differently for black people and black women. Just saying, it's not going to, and an everyday person as opposed to someone of means and money. There's so many levels between color, gender, money, like all of that. Naza, thank you so much for the super chat. Naza says, playing devil's advocate here. If Eddie were to take the fall, I wonder if it would lead to a divorce. Oh, I don't know. If anything, I think she would stay with him if he took the fall, right? V, thank you so much for the super chat. V says, hey, Kempire in chat, just stopped by to say this reunion was actually pretty good. Hashtag replay crew. Thank you, V. We appreciate you. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope you guys had a fantastic Valentine's Day. If you missed it, we did do a special dating live on Friday. So be sure to check that out if you missed it. And you can also hear it on the podcast. So be sure to check that out. I see Mara's backstage. Mara, you're going to be the last caller. But you got to be quick because we got to go live at 3. What's going on, Mara?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm okay. I need Ashley to stop with the wide, big forehead. I mean, the way she spoke to Wendy. I know that Wendy has a fault, but it was so clear that she's never been on the good footing with Wendy from the beginning. She has so much to say about everybody else, but nothing about her divorce, her grabbing ex-husband, behavior, nothing. She just has so much to say about other people. As for Stacey, I can't wait to see what she brings on the table next season, if there is a next season.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks, Mara, for calling in. Have a good one. All right. Thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to the 1,576 of you that have liked the video. A round of applause for you guys. Okay. Shout out to you guys. And shout out to those of you that are watching the replay of this and then liking the video. Don't forget to like. And don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live show is happening here in New York City in less than a month, March 13th at the Green Room 42. It's a night of hot topics. If you think we have a good time during our lives, please understand, in person is a completely different experience. It is unfiltered. You're dropping tea. I'm dropping tea. But if you can't come to New York, I understand. Not everyone can come to New York, but there is a live stream option only for this show. So if you haven't already, you can get a live stream ticket. And honestly, if you come to the show, sometimes it's better to get the live stream ticket too. So that way, after the show, you're like, let me rewatch some of what played out because I forgot what this person said or the tea that was spilled. So go get your ticket so you're able to keep the live stream option for a week after the show, but you have to buy your ticket before the show. Okay? All right. Shut up, Wave Key. Key says, it's Kempire's face every time someone mentions, I'm always thrown off when you guys mention, I'm like, oh Lord, okay. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Assets got their live stream ticket. Thank you so much. Watching from Norway. We appreciate you, Assets. Shout out to those of you watching on Facebook. Make sure you guys follow me on Facebook, Kempire on Facebook, Kempire Daily on Facebook. Those are two different fan pages. Be sure to follow us there. And thank you to those of you watching on Twitch and on X. We see you guys. I will see you all in the comment section, but I will also see you during our Married to Medicine recap. I have a lot to say. Lots to say. We see you, Kirk King. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.